A lot of money lenders just go about taking anybody and everybody as a guarantor when they want to give out loan. The need to ensure that the guarantor you accept is not just verified but has the capacity and awareness that he or she is a guarantor cannot be overemphasized. There was a case that we handled at the office. By the time the debtor was on the run and we tried to go after the guarantor, aside the fact that the guarantor was an 80-year-old woman, she wasn't even aware that she was a guarantor. And that goes to show two things in the verification process. Adequate verification was not done by the loan officer, or a lot of things were overlooked by the loan officer, so that you know how this thing works. They can get their own commission when disbursing the loan. So if you are a money lender or an existing money lender, you have to understand that it is not just enough to get anybody as a guarantor. The person has to have the capacity to actually stand in as a guarantor. What exactly do I mean? So if somebody comes to you to take a loan of 200,000 and the person, for example, is a security officer, now tell me why you would accept somebody that is not up to the financial capacity of your borrower as a guarantor. A guarantor in law simply means somebody that has the capacity to step into the shoes of a debtor or borrower. In other words, if the debtor fails to pay, or the debtor cannot pay, fail to pay in the sense that you cannot find the debtor or something just went wrong, or cannot pay, the debtor is insolvent or bankrupt, then the guarantor should be able to step into the shoes of the debtor. What that simply means is if your debtor is worth 100 naira in total, you should be able to get a guarantor that is worth 250 or 500 naira, because the whole essence is that the guarantor should be able to do better than the debtor. So it is very important, if you want to run a profitable money lending business and you accept guarantor before you disburse fund, please know somebody used as a reference or used as next of kin cannot be said to be a guarantor. There's what we call privity in contract, that I decided to use somebody as a reference point or as my next of kin in a loan agreement or a loan application form does not automatically make that person my guarantor. This is one of the mistakes that a lot of money lenders make, and then you see them calling somebody's husband or somebody's wife to say, you are the person's next of kin, or the person use you as a reference. You need to know that we live in an age where people are more exposed and more enlightened. So if you want to run a profitable, legally protected money lending business, you have to first of all verify your guarantor. Be sure that the person knows that he or she is being used as a guarantor, and the person has also accepted to be a guarantor. And the best way to do it is not to shake hands, is to put it in black and white. I will see you in my next video.